Malaysia's banking industry is entering a new phase with the launch of digital banks. And honestly, they have been great. I actually think that every Malaysian should use these digital banks because they're giving a lot of rewards for users. But first, some context. So, back in 2022, Bank Negara announced that there were 29 applications for a digital banking license, of which only 5 were successful. The first one is by Boost and RHB. The second one is by GXS Bank, aka Grab, together with the Kwok Brothers. The third one is by C Limited, aka Shopee, together with YTL. The fourth one is by Aeon and Money Lion. And then the fifth one is a consortium that's led by KAF Investment Bank. For those of you who don't know, digital banks, they operate completely online, which means they have no physical presence. This means that even if we wanted to go to a physical branch to complain, we can't because there are no physical branches. So this means that no, Rise is not a digital bank, which means I won't be covering them in today's video. This is because Rise, for those of you who don't know, they are under Al Rajhi Bank, which is a traditional bank. You know, there are Al Rajhi Bank's branches all over Malaysia, if you guys didn't know. So yeah, they're technically not a digital bank. These guys, they don't need a digital banking license. Any of them, they can come up with a new app and say, hey, this is my digital bank, but technically it still falls under their, I don't know, traditional banking license. Anyway, so far, 3 digital banks have already launched in Malaysia. The first one by quite a big margin, I think, was GX Bank by Grab, and then it was followed by Aeon Bank, and then soon after, Boost Bank launched theirs as well. I haven't heard of any launch dates for the other 2 banks, so I'm not really sure when those will come out. But even with these 3 digital banks, I know that there are a lot of Malaysians who are already, trying to figure out which one is the best for them. Well, the answer to that is, as usual, it depends. It will depend on how you plan on using it. It'll depend on your saving and your spending patterns as well. But today, I'll try to make it slightly easier for you by comparing all 3 digital banks. I will look at multiple aspects of it. So yeah, you guys can just go through it and then decide which one is best for you. Just make sure that you stay and watch till the end of this video because there are a lot of important information and a lot of things that you guys need to consider as well. Anyway, let's get into it. First up, let's talk about safety and regulation. This is a bank account, so we are going to be storing quite a bit of money, I would say, in these. So we need to make sure that they are safe to use and that we won't lose our money one day when, they suddenly just disappear. Well, the good news is, of course, they're all pretty much safe to use. Like I said, all of these guys, they are regulated and they were approved by Bank Negara Malaysia to become digital banks in Malaysia. And since they're all banks, and since they all take deposits from customers, they're all also forced to be protected under PIDM, which means that even if anything bad were to happen, we as customers, we would be insured by up to 250,000 ringgit for each of these banks. So yeah, from that sense, already makes you feel safe, I hope. I know a lot of you guys like PIDM protection, you guys think it's important, so yeah, there you have it. But aside from PIDM protection, I think they all have pretty much the same safety features. So yeah, I would say no real winner here. I just wanted to share that yes, they are all safe to use. Now, moving on to liquidity. Technically, this shouldn't be a comparison because again, they're all the same, but I just wanted to clarify here since some of you guys have asked me about this in my previous videos. So all 3 of these products that I will be talking about today, they are all banks, like I said earlier. So that means that you can make money transfers, you can transfer money to your Maybank, to your CIMB, whatever it is. You can make withdrawals at an ATM, and you can also make do it now QR payments at any store, as long as these guys have already launched it. So yeah, you have instant access to your cash whenever you want. These are not investments. These are not like, money market funds that you have to wait a couple of days for withdrawal. You can withdraw it at any time that you want. It acts just like any other bank out there. Moving on to Shariah compliance for Muslims who want an Islamic account. So of the 3 banks, GX Bank, Boost Bank, and Aeon, only Aeon Bank is Shariah compliant. They are an Islamic account. The other 2, right now, they only have conventional accounts. I don't know if they have any plans to launch Islamic accounts in the future. But all 3 of them, they also don't have any loan products right now, no financing products, anything like that. All they have is just the simple stuff, a savings account that can make transfers, deposits, withdrawals. Now we get to the fun part, which is the profits or interest payouts that these banks make. So it's the return that you can expect to get just by depositing money into them. This to me is a breath of fresh air. I really like this. I really like that these digital banks, all 3 of them that have launched so far, they are giving us pretty decent returns. For some reason, in Malaysia, previously, prior to these digital banks, there are not many banks who want to give, a high yield savings account. I used to get like 0.1, 0.5% interest on my bank account, which is practically nothing. In the US, I mean, I know that the interest rate is high now, but in the US, there are many banks that offer high yield savings account that pay like, even 5%, no frills, no conditions or anything like that, which is great. But over here, we don't see that. I know some banks like RHB, they are offering like, savings accounts that can give you up to 5% or even more than that, but it has conditions. You have to spend a certain amount, you have to spend with your credit card, you have to pay bills, deposit your salary, etc., etc. So yeah, it's a bit of a hassle. It's not like, guaranteed free 5% interest. The only other bank I know that gives a decent return is OCBC's Frank account, and that one gives 1.5%. Which is, I guess, higher than a lot of other banks out there, but still it's nothing amazing. So yeah, it's good to see that all three of these banks that have launched so far, they are giving pretty good returns. So let's compare them. First of all, we have GX Bank. They are giving 3% per year for all of the cash that you have deposited into your savings account there. This one, there's no minimum balance and they will pay the interest to us on a daily basis. It works whether you put your money in the main savings account or if you put it into the savings pockets. I have my money spread out over multiple different savings pockets, so I don't know how much in interest I've earned so far, but it is quite a decent amount. Based on my checks as well, this doesn't seem to be a promo, so it's not like some promo rate that they have now and then in 6 months' time they're going to pull it off, because there's no end date set, so it should be there for the foreseeable future. Next up, we have Aeon Bank, and they are giving a massive 3.88% per annum for all deposits that you have with them as well. But unlike GX Bank, they pay us on a monthly basis instead of a daily basis. So based on last month, I got the profit payout on the 31st of May. So it seems like they will make this payment on the last day of the month. They also don't have a minimum balance that you have to keep in the bank account for you to get this rate. Pretty much any amount that you put in, you will get this 3.88%, which is perfect if only all banks were like this, right? But the bad news is, unfortunately, this seems to only be a promo, and they mentioned that it will end on the 31st of August. Right now, we don't have any indication of what their base rate is, or maybe even better, maybe they're going to extend the promo. But yeah, we don't know for now, so we'll have to wait and see after the 31st of August to know whether Aeon Bank is still going to give us some juicy returns. Finally, we have Boost Bank, and unfortunately for me, this one is a bit complicated because the interest that you can earn from them, it ranges from 0.5% per year all the way to 3.6% per year. So firstly, the big difference, unlike GX Bank and Aeon Bank, is that there will be a difference in interest depending on where you store your money. So if you put it into a savings account, you'll earn less. If you put it into their, I think it's called savings jar, you will earn more. I don't know what the rationale is for this. I don't know why, by putting it into a savings jar, you'll earn more, because you can just withdraw from it anytime you want. But yeah, you will earn more for putting it into a savings jar, so you guys should just put it there. That's where I'm putting my money as well. I have 0 in my savings account with Boost Bank. And then they also have different tiers. So if you're someone who has less than 2,000 ringgit deposited, then you'll only earn 1.5% per annum. But if you deposit more than 2,000 ringgit, then you'll be upgraded. Then you'll be a platinum president. Sounds fancy, right? But you'll also be getting 3.6% per annum, which is way higher. Then there's also another tier, apparently. There's an even fancier version. It's called Platinum President with Partner Benefits. They haven't launched this yet. They haven't announced how much interest they'll be giving, but it seems like it will definitely be more. Maybe by the time I post this video, maybe it'll already be out, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But to hit this highest tier, the fanciest tier of the Platinum President with Partner Benefits, it does seem like we have to spend every single month a certain amount with their selected partners. We don't know who their selected partners are yet, so we'll have to wait and see, if it's going to be easy. I don't like all of these conditional rewards where, you're going to spend with a certain merchant just to unlock the next tier. But let's see, maybe if it's something easy, then we can all do it. We'll just have to wait for the launch. But one way that they are similar to GX Bank is that they are paying their interest out on a daily basis as well. So it seems that right now, only Aeon Bank is paying it on a monthly basis. This is my preference. Daily payout is my preference. Something about, opening the app every single day, seeing a few cents or a few ringgit coming into our account. It just feels good, It makes me feel good, yeah. Also, while the 3.6% that we will be getting on a yearly basis for the Platinum President tier, that is a promo and that will end on the 31st of August, I think. But when we look at their base rates, which means after the promo ends, we can see that the Platinum President will get 3.2%, whereas the Platinum President Partner Benefit thing, that will give you 3.6%. So at this point, we can see that their base rates, even after the promo, it will be higher than GX Bank. Moving on to their user interface and user experience. This one is something that I do look into. I know some of you guys, maybe you guys don't care, but this one will also be a bit arguable because it just depends on you. It depends on what you like. But personally, my preference right now is GX Bank. Their user interface, to me, it's super clean, it's super easy to use. We can almost tell that this was built by a tech company. Even from the first day that I registered, when I got beta access, I logged in, I created my account, and there's just not a lot of clutter. I knew everything that I needed to do. Exploring the app, it was just super easy for me from day one. And when we compare this to both Aeon Bank and Boost Bank, we can see that their layout, it's a lot more cluttered. It's like a lot more things that we can do, which I guess for some of you guys, it might be good. You might think that, hey, there's a lot of features, many things we can do, that's good. For me, I just like a more clean layout. But I'm not saying theirs is bad. Theirs is actually still pretty good. It's still better than a lot of traditional banks out there. I just prefer GX Bank right now. And on Aeon's side, I also noticed that the app is just very, very slightly slow. It's not super bad that it's unusable. It's not like some other banking apps out there. I think this is just something that younger people would feel. Maybe those like Gen Z, millennials will really feel that just because we don't have patience. When we click onto something, we expect it to be instant. With Aeon Banks, it just feels a bit slow. On Boost side, I think their app is nice and it's very responsive as well, just like GX Bank. But the thing that I don't like is, of course, the different tiers, how you get a certain percent if you put it into a savings account, a certain percent when you put it into a jar, and they have all these different tiers that get all kinds of different rewards. I know that, if you use this for a while, you'll probably get a hang of it, you'll probably understand it, but just at the start, it can be quite confusing and we don't really know what we'll actually get. Now, on to spending benefits. What do we get for using the debit cards? Again, this is a breath of fresh air to me. So, previously, I always tell you guys to use credit cards. One of the reasons I tell you guys to do it is that we will get rewarded for using a credit card. With cash, with debit cards, we won't get anything. With credit cards, most of the time you will get either points or cashback. My preference is cashback, and my cashback, it ranges from 1% all the way to 12%. But I know that some of you guys, you don't want to use a credit card, you prefer debit card, just because credit cards can be dangerous. And yes, I agree, it can be bad if you're not responsible with money. But the problem was there were no banks, from what I know at least, that offered rewards for using debit cards until digital banks. So yeah, this is perfect to me. This is a really good sign of innovation. First up, again, let's talk about GX Bank. They are giving 1% cashback unlimited on any spending. So this to me, it's amazing. I remember when they were just about to launch, they did like a content creator briefing and they mentioned this and I was like, this is like a game changer, a debit card that's giving you 1% cashback on anything. There are some standard restrictions, stuff that even credit cards won't give cashback for. For example, any payments to government agencies, PTPTN payments, these things, it won't count for cashback. But I did try TNB and it did work. Another plus point for GX Bank is that they also offer very competitive exchange rates. So I went to Taiwan recently and I compared GX Bank with the previous champion of overseas spending, which is Wise. And surprisingly, GX Bank actually won. The thing is, because of their 1% cashback and because they're currently waiving fees for all foreign currency exchange right now, GX Bank actually beat out Wise. If you guys want to check out that video, you can just check it out on my Instagram or TikTok. I'll leave it right here. Finally, you will also get 1.5 times Grab rewards if you use your GX Bank card at Jaya Grocer. So yeah, for those of you guys who do go to Jaya Grocer to buy groceries and stuff, you will get some Grab rewards points as well. You will get some extra points by using your GX Bank card. So moving on to Aeon Bank. Instead of giving us cash back in the form of cash, they're actually giving us Aeon points. But it's actually the same thing. I'll explain it to you guys later. Anyway, right now, for every 1 ringgit that you spend on your Aeon Bank debit card, you will get 1 Aeon point. And right now, until the 31st of August, they're running a promo where every 1 ringgit, you will get 3 Aeon rewards points. It also works on any spend, so it's not just limited to spending at Aeon, but I do think that I read somewhere you do get extra points for spending at Aeon, of course, but it does work on whatever spend that you want to spend on with the same restrictions as GX Bank. So stuff like government services, PTPTN, all those stuff, it won't work as well. So the good thing is, and the reason that I say that these Aeon rewards points, they are the same as cashback, is that you can convert these Aeon points into cash directly within the Aeon Bank app. So usually I would say I don't like points. That's why even my credit card, I like cashback. I don't really like points because what am I going to buy with points? But yeah, this is a good thing about Aeon Bank. I tried it and it works. So the value of it is every 200 points, you can convert it into 1 ringgit. I did this. When you sign up, you'll get 3,000 Aeon points. I converted that for 15 ringgit. So when we do the math, this means that every 1 ringgit that you spend, you'll get 1 Aeon point, which is the equivalent of 0.005 cents. Yeah, which basically means, in a nutshell, Aeon Bank, by using the debit card, you'll be getting a 0.5% cashback, which is about half of what GX Bank is giving. Finally, we have Boost, and like Aeon Bank, they're not giving us cold hard cash in the form of cashback, they're giving us points in the form of Boost Stars. I think that's what it's called. They also have a debit card, but that's not launched yet, so we don't know the details of it. We don't know if there's any more rewards for using the debit card. So for now, we'll just have to work with this. So right now, we can get Boost Stars if we spend using the Boost app when we link it to our Boost Bank. A bit confusing, right? Also, similar to their interest rates, how much points you will get will depend on the tier that you're in, and it's a bit confusing. I'm not exactly sure how it works, so I'm just gonna leave this screenshot here and let it do the talking for me. The good news is you can also redeem these Boost Stars for e-wallet credit, which goes straight to your Boost e-wallet, which effectively means that you can convert these points into cash, just like Aeon Bank. But the bad news is, because there are so many different tiers and because I'm not clear on how much we will get for every 1 ringgit we spend, I cannot share a cashback rate right now. Sorry guys, I'll just have to figure this out later on. Maybe I'll just post it as shorts, or maybe I'll just wait for them to launch the debit card and then just do a video on that. Another benefit by GX Bank that they're giving to their customers right now is that, you know, when you go to an ATM and you want to withdraw cash and then there's this like MAPS fee of 1 ringgit, yeah, GX Bank, they are waiving that fee as well for now, which is another plus point for their users. So that's my comparison of the 3 digital banks that have launched so far. I don't have any favorites. In fact, I'm using all 3 just because I like to spread my money for some reason. It's not a good thing. But yeah, which one is the best for you will really just depend on your preferences, how you spend, how you save, all that kind of stuff. Just go through this video and then decide which one is the right one for you. To me, all of them have really good benefits and rewards to the users. Like I've been saying, it's a breath of fresh air because the approach that they're taking, it's a bit different than what traditional banks have been doing in Malaysia. Let me know, would you guys use a digital bank? And if you would, which one is your favorite right now? Anyway, thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Give us a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.